Holstin is a game that recently popped up on my radar due to all the footage that's recently been released for the game. The cool effect of switching the game from 2D to 3D as you fire your guns and enter combat actually looked really insane. So I did some digging and I saw that Steam had 2 demos released for the game. And to get a better overall impression of the game, I decided to play through these demos. And after playing through both of them, I wanted to share my thoughts with you all and give my overall impressions of the game thus far. So just in case you're like me and you've recently just discovered Holstin, let's look at what the game actually is. A psychological survival horror game set in an eerie, isolated 90s Polish town, consumed by an anonymous presence. You come looking for answers, but everyone seems possessed by something foul. So not only is this game offering a unique camera angle for a survival horror game, it's actually in a Polish town. After so many survival horror games are based in the States, it's actually nice to play one that's in a different country. So between the unique camera angle, the awesome looking combat, and the fact that we're in Poland, this game has definitely piqued my interest. So for the 2 demos, they're actually focused on different elements of the game. The first demo is more focused on exploration and puzzle solving. And the second demo is focused more on the type of combat we could expect to see in the game. So after playing the first one, I actually greatly enjoyed it. I was tasked with finding blueprints in a house. However, this was not a simple task, as there was this weird growth throughout the house that would block my path, and the only way to get past it was to light up the house slowly, which would actually kill the growth, as it could only grow in the dark. Toying with a fuse box to light up different areas, and having to swap which table lamps would have a light bulb in it was actually very simple, yet very fun. I really did enjoy this. It felt like a classic scenario you would play in an old school survival horror game. And it wasn't just the puzzle element. The atmosphere, the tone, the lighting, everything felt extraordinary. Even the characters you would encounter in the house felt ordinary but off-putting at the very same time. And it really did remind me of the type of people that you would encounter in a Silent Hill game. And though I greatly did enjoy my time with the first demo, I must admit what actually got me intrigued by this game was that cool looking combat footage that was just released. So after completing the first demo, I jumped eagerly into the combat focused one. And to my surprise, this is actually where a lot of my complaints for the game lay, as I actually went in expecting the combat to play more like an indie version of Resident Evil 4 type of an action-packed game, and then you would switch and do the puzzle solving, so the best of both worlds. And that's not really what this is. So before we talk about the combat, let's talk about the stealth system. Overall, this is pretty basic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's really nothing special. Basically, the enemies are very bare bones, which makes sense. After all, they do seem to be sort of like basically zombies, or some sort of version of zombies. However, unlike most other games where you could toss objects, rocks, or bottles to distract the foes, in this game, that's not really an option. You have to rely solely on your wit and the shadows to keep you safe, which is actually not that big of a deal. However, there was times where I feel like the zombies would lose their pathfinding and they would just stop, which would not be an issue, but sometimes they would stop and stare at a door before you even entered the room. And you can't even begin the encounter without being spotted. So it's almost like you'd have to get spotted and then reset the encounter so you reset their pathfinding. You'd have to purposely kill yourself. But overall, I mean, outside of that little hiccup, which could be patched, it was still pretty fun. So let's bring up my least favorite thing. And I think the thing that actually has most people hyped because it did look so cool in those new trailers. And that is the gunplay. So this plays nothing like Resident Evil 4. For starters, you have an energy bar, and your energy bar and your health bar are the same thing. So if you're at half health, you're at half energy, and when you aim down your sights, it actually drains the energy bar, and it drains pretty quickly. So you have to aim down your sights, aim pretty quickly, and the shift between the 2D to the 3D is kind of jarring because of the difference in the speed. For example, in 2D, it moves pretty slow. When you're walking, you move slow. When you're stealthing, you move slow. But as soon as you aim down the sights, it's like they turn the sensitivity up to the max. So going from such a slow pace to a fast pace that instantly is something I had a lot of trouble with. And now you can see that this is maybe a skill issue. However, even if you blast the head off of an opponent, which normally would be an instant kill, and since aiming down your sights is a timed event, you think skill shots would matter even more, the monsters don't die. They keep charging at you, and they do a lot of damage. They just don't have a head anymore. So honestly, I hope that the developers readdress the way combat works in the game, or at least give players more options in how it handles, because I'm going to keep it real. I feel like the way it plays now is going to turn off a majority of people that are actually excited for this game. But I would love to hear what you all think. Are you guys excited to play this? Is it something you're actually going to put on your wish list? And if you played the demos, let me know if you agree with me about the gunplay and the overall mechanics of the game. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm going to get back to the grind and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.